In my video that I called Form Applications on a Budget, one thing I suggested was looking at self-defense videos and security camera footage, and you'll start to see things that remind you of your forms. But there's also one thing you want to keep in mind is a lot of times when you see self-defense videos, it is for an adult fighting off another adult. Or basically, it's usually for a woman fighting off a man. And the application is probably not going to work too well if you're talking about small child against adult male. So when you see something that's an application, keep that in mind. Look at the sizes of the people that you see working the application. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be for adult versus another adult. So if you want to look for stuff that's going to work for kids, you're probably going to have to look at applications that work for children. But here's a good thing that you can keep in mind. A lot of your applications that will work for kids are pretty much just hit. I would start off with having kids work at hitting vital points that they can get to. They don't have to reach up for. Like things on the outside and inside of the legs, you know, maybe stuff near the groin, even something, depending on the size of the child, like up in the short ribs area or something, or in the along conception that the child can get to. Okay, or you know, you can have them. You can only have them go for like the eyes if you're doing a situation where the adult will be bending down towards the child. So this application I'm going to take from, what is this? It's from the Fight Science channel. It looks to me like this move that I'm going to highlight is a great application for the first 2 moves of Chon, down block and punch. I would say they would work for anybody who is about 12 years old and over trying to fend off an attack against a male. So let's take a look.
So hand fighting's failed. I've got in Zoe's personal space. I'm actually here. I'm going to be dragging her off. How does she deal with someone who's grabbing hold of her hands? Well, the easiest thing to do when someone grabs hold of your hands is to grab them back. In theory, if she grabs hold of one of my arms, I tend to tie myself.
Look at how she's pulling away. When she's pulling away, that's just like how you chamber to do your down block.
Up, which actually gives her an opportunity
down
to
block,
grip,
punch. I'll do it this way. She's like this. Bring the camera up. She's like this. See? She's like this. She's like this. She's like this. See? It's like in your form.
Striking now. Bang, bang, bang. Getting out and breaking
down block,
away.
punch.
So the idea is when anybody ever grabs you, especially when we're looking at this, you grab them back. Because essentially what it does is it ties your own hand up. And a good little clever idea with this is as you grab them, if you turn your wrist, you can actually step back.
It's like you turn your wrist when you chamber.
Driving your wrist free through the fingers. So anybody grabs you, grab them back, and that always frees your own hands because you can see them quite clearly trapped, and then you can strike, strike, strike. And that's much better than trying to lead someone. Try it, it works quite well.
Now for a Kyusho Jitsu breakdown, please, I hope I get this right. Okay, this is actually, I'm turning it over, but this is actually the inner part of my arm here. This should be heart 6. This is lung 8. This is pericardium 6. Okay, so these are 3 pressure points. I did a video called the OK technique, where if you go around this part of the wrist, it relaxes and see, watch. I'll do it to myself. I'm pushing, I can't do it. I go around like this, and it makes the wrist weak. Well, grabbing at all 3 of those pressure points, even I don't know if they're necessarily activated by grab, but I do think that this one is activated by touch. I could be wrong. Okay, I think these 2 are activated by rub. But if you grab all 3 of them, it makes the wrist weak. Remember I've said that's why you're handcuffed. That's why they handcuff you at the wrist, because it makes the wrist weak. So when she does that, when she grabs back, and then she's pulling her wrist out, she's chambering, Don't just think of it as one punch. You can think of it as bam, bam, bam when you go, kia! Okay? So I would also change it to have her hit in the temple, or at triple warmer 17, or even this in Grey's Anatomy, I think they call it the cheek hollow. There's an empty space right here in the cheekbone that's also good for striking. It's right below the cheekbone in here. That's good for striking. Also, side of the nose. But these little small things would probably be too hard for somebody to remember under stress if they're not that skilled. But they can do that. They can pull away. Just tell them, just hit them in the side of the head. Hit them in the side of the head repeatedly and screaming, Kia, 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 Kia. And also, of course, your classic jaw. Hoping that they got a glass one. So that's a formulas application on a budget that you got for free from me right here. And just go to their channel. They got a good channel too. Look at some more of the other stuff and see what reminds you of what you already know, but you just don't know how to apply in a non-static context. Peace.